All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a beatzillapdx official news break. And it looks like we have a little story coming out of Tinseltown. Imagine that. As some of you may know, there is currently a worker strike, a writer strike, and now an actor strike going on in Hollywood. And some people are feeling the pressure and the crunch of such said situations changing in Hollywood, such as yours truly on the screen, Billy Porter. Now, Billy Porter has often been very vocal and proud about doing things against the Black community that the Black community frowned upon, and then he had proceeded to take shots, and I guess had figured that he had support in other places. Well, it turns out that what we already know to be true is sometimes tools get broken. And when the supremacists are done with their tools, they often break them. And in the midst of a big strike, what use is a Billy Porter to the machine? So let's look at this article from The Root, as Professor Black Truth says, The Rot. It says, Billy Porter takes bold step, sells home amidst actor strike, money woes. It says, as the SAG-AFTRA actor strikes continue on the WGA writer strike, hits its and the WGA writer strike hits its 100th day on Wednesday, Grammy, Emmy, and Tony Award-winning actor Billy Porter, and I don't know why he has a Grammy, because you guys can actually go listen to his music. If you guys actually remember, this dude was an artist that for some reason some label was trying to put out as a heterosexual man. But if you just go back and look at his old videos, it was very obvious to see what side of the fence he was on. Anyway, actor Billy Porter is sharing the harsh realities he's facing as a result of the AMPTP's refusal to give these workers a fair deal. In the new interview with London's Evening Standard, Porter revealed he's had to get rid of his own home and he's starved out since his upcoming projects have been put on hold. Quote, I have to sell my house, unquote, Porter explained. Yeah, because we're on strike and I don't know when we're going to go back. The life of an artist until you make FU money, which I haven't made yet, is still check to check. I was supposed to be in a new movie and a new television show starting in September. Let me stop right there. Yeah, see, now, how is it Billy Porter can understand being on code and in line with Hollywood while there's a strike? Now, he's coming out and complaining about what he's dealing with, but he's not denigrating any of the other people who are striking. So it seems to me that, okay, well, this concept actually does fit Billy Porter. He just doesn't have this energy for his own community to which he comes from, because he has some self-hate issues that goes on. That is another reason why the machine loves a Billy Porter type. Billy Porter doesn't understand there is no love from that machine. There's only usefulness. And when you're no longer of use, you get broken. So let's just see. Out of all the TV series or movies starring Billy Porter coming out, who is checking for Billy Porter? Not only that, has not the energy in the air changed about what is to be presented from the Black community? So if he was going to be put in something, or he was going to be starring in something, well, it kind of makes you wonder, how is that going to end up being received in the long run, and what kind of final death blow could it deliver to a career that was already questionable to begin with? So it goes on to say, none of that is happening. So the person who said, we're going to starve them out until they have to sell their apartments, you've already starved me out. For context, last month, an anonymous Hollywood exec told Deadline that the end game for the WGA strikers was to allow things to drag on until union members start losing their apartments and start losing their house. Well, from my understanding, Billy, that is called strategy. And when you have leverage, you use it. Like black voters. Black voters. See how strategy works? This isn't even a political situation, but it is a business situation. So when you're dealing in business, there is one side that's negotiating, and there's another side that's negotiating. And then when you come to a stalemate, things come to a halt. This is the one thing that, for some reason, Black Biden supporters can't seem to understand the importance of withholding your vote or voting strategically. Because again, right now, what you're hearing the mainstream media tell you is Black male silence is extremely loud. Let's go ahead and continue. But I mean, again, with all of this homophobia and misogyny and toxic masculinity in the Black community and Black men, well, you definitely don't need us to come to your rescue, brother. So good luck. Oh, yeah, not to mention also with Billy Porter here, add insult to injury. His zaddy left him, right? Now, could it possibly be that his zaddy might have got wind things were coming down the pike and was not willing to stick around for the bad times with a Billy Porter? I don't know. You could kind of take of that what you will. Anyway, going on to read. Later, and addressing the asinine and truly outrageous comments from Disney CEO Bob Iger, who described the strikes as, quote, disturbing and the expectations of strikers as unrealistic, Porter hit back. Quote, the business has evolved. No, it has not, Billy. That's where you fooled yourself, brother. The business has evolved. So the contract has to evolve and change, period. To hear Bob Iger say that our demands for living wage are unrealistic while he makes $78,000 per day. Billy Porter. Now do you understand why Black folks, foundational Black Americans in America, are saying tangibles or no vote? Do you understand why we're saying get on code, get justice, get reparations? We're not being vague. And now all of a sudden, you got a wake-up call. This is the business you've chosen to turn your back on your people for. And they are telling you how it works. You submitted to being a slave. You're a paid slave and you are a decorated slave. But guess what, Billy? You are still their property. So now it kind of makes all that dancing around and political whatever you thought you were doing, it kind of puts it in a different light for you, doesn't it now, Mr. Porter? I would hope it does. And I would hope other people look at you as an shining example. And you and Lizzo of the like, and that forgotten memory, Lil Nas X. I hope people take from you a life lesson about going against the grain, against your own community's interests. But nonetheless, let's keep going, because this is almost over. I don't have any words for it, but F you. That's not useful. So I've kept my mouth shut. I haven't engaged because I'm so enraged. When I go back, I will join the picket lines. You know what's so funny? He understands joining their fight, but you can't join the fight of your community. That is overtly cowardly, and there is no respect within that. Now, here's the other movie that they actually can. If you didn't know, the movie that he was probably talking about was him playing James Baldwin. I guess you got it right with because I'm pretty sure that Billy is foundational Black American, but nonetheless, he's a goofball, corny doofus that is only willing to play himself because he thinks he can escape being Black in America. Well, he can't. So, okay, I wanted to make sure I had this right. So, yeah, he was going to be playing. So that was announced back in April. Okay. Fast forward to Friday, June 7th, 2023. Billy Porter and husband Adam Smith are divorcing. Billy Porter and his husband Adam Smith have announced they are divorcing. The Post Star's rep told People the two made the sad decision to end their marriage after 6 years. The decision was an amicable and mutual one and was made after much consideration, Porter's rep said. They continue to love and support each other as they embark on this next chapter. There will be no further comment from either parties, and it would be appreciated of their privacy, or if their privacy, if their privacy be respected. You know, here's an issue. Everything else you did was on Front Street, so there is no privacy when you wanted to make your life a spectacle for the world, as Lizzo is now finding out the hard way as well as you. So again, I would have to wonder, did that husband of yours have a heads up to separate himself from you financially before you come in this predicament to where you have to sell your house? I thought you guys were love and support. Well, anyway. In 2009, Porter and Smith met and dated briefly before reuniting in 2015. They were engaged in 2016 and got married 2 weeks later in 2017 in New York. Porter had previously told the publication that he was happy to see same-sex marriages become legal in his lifetime. We both grew up in a household where who we are is labeled an abomination. Sorry, Mr. Porter. That's not the household. That's literally the Bible. And what you know as an abomination, it just simply means, now you can look at as you being a sin, but truth be told, the actual definition of an abomination is absolute uselessness. You have lost all uselessness, or usefulness, rather. So ultimate uselessness is what an abomination is, meaning you are so far gone from even redemption, if that was the case, or needed, or a pivot. But see, an abomination usually stems from having what is called a reprobate mind. When you're reprobate, that means that you just continue pushing down the line of wrong. So much so that wrong just simply becomes justified, then wrong becomes right, then that wrong and justification becomes a lifestyle and an agenda. And there you have Billy Porter, the broken tool. So that's why this broadcast here, this little news break is simply called tool breaking, a Billy Porter story, because that's what this is. And, you know, he got what he wanted, didn't he? Didn't he? He got it. So enjoy what you wanted, Billy, because none of us can feel sorry for you. And with that being said, it goes on to say, he added, to see that come around, to see that tide turned, it still takes my breath away, and I'm still trying to find words to describe it. Well, here's one word you can use right now, Billy: broke. And that's where they're gonna leave you, broke. So this is what happens when you do this,
shuffling and scratching and bootlicking and buck dance.
You understand? Because you really perceived that community had your back over your own. So, Billy, if you think this gets better, it really doesn't. But let's just take a walk down memory lane. If people say that I'm being too harsh or I'm wrong for my stance against Billy Porter, I just need to refresh your memory.
If I'm over here wearing a dress, why does it matter? Any woman who puts on pants is considered strong because pants are associated with the patriarchy. It's like some sort of superiority complex. So a man puts on a dress and it's disgusting. So what you're saying is men are fabulous, women are disgusting. I'm not doing that anymore. I want to be a walking piece of political art when I show up. You know, just living inside of my truth publicly is a political act. I get that too. So to add the layer of fashion on top of it seemed like a no-brainer. You know, the most disappointing was the backlash from black people. That was worse than all of it. The vitriol, you know, like, I'm the cause of the emasculation of the black man. Well, okay. I didn't know that I had that much power, but now that I know I do, you can expect me to be wielding it every chance I get. You know, the whole fashion thing was something that I knew could be a thing just from having been in the business for so long and watching the women do it. It's generally reserved for women. I loved the Oscars, I loved the Golden Globes, I loved the Met Gala and the Tonys with my uterus dress made out of the Kinky Boots curtain. Know your references, children.
Billy.
Own your stuff, little girl. Own it.
Okay.
Billy Porter, you get one of these. Sambo. The reason why you get a Sambo sauce is simply for what you just said. And I got all that vitriol from the black community. If you don't stop it, now you're seeing where real vitriol is. See, backlash and people criticizing what you're doing didn't make you sell your home. That ain't what did. And you got a white man over there with all of his patriarchy and you ain't saying nothing. But you got something to say about black folks, do not come back around us because, brother,
You shouldn't have been talking shit.
so if Billy Porter and all of the people of his ilk don't understand what's going on with Billy and Lizzo, this is tool breaking. And this particular tool is Billy Porter. And I use the wrench because he wants to play that role of a bad wench, not a bad buck. He literally wants to be a bad wench. So we gave him a broken wrench. Don't choke on it, Billy. With that being said, if you out there might think that I am wrong and think my position on this is a little aggressive, well, first off, what you can't say is it's homophobic or anything like that, because see, what we always said, if you're black and queer, black and trans, black, anything black, and guess what you are? You are just what we always say, black first. If you could do like James Baldwin, which is really insult to James Baldwin's legacy, because James Baldwin, being a gay man, was always black first, never sexuality first, and most definitely did not put outsiders' agenda that would be detrimental to his community over anything. So for those of you who still believe intersectionality is the way, and we're going to go ahead and interracially sexualize ourselves to respectability, well, I think it's safe to say, if I speak for myself, those us here at the Beatzilla PDX official show, those of you in the chat, the grassroots, and the voices of new black media, I would say it is safe to say I speak for all of them when we proudly dedicate this song to you, Billy Porter.
Get up off of that cocaine and get up off of that crack. Get yourself together and get your mind back.
Yeah, family, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at beatzillapdx. You can email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And of course, if you want to put some money in the bucket, you can definitely do so by way of CashApp, which is $beatzillapdx. That's CashApp, $beatzillapdx. Also, we have PayPal, and that is Zilla Muzak. That is ZILLAMUZAK at PayPal. So, go ahead. If you would like to support this channel, please do. Every little bit counts. Peace, power, blessings, and protection be up on you and yours in advance. Thank you for those of you who already have contributed to this broadcast and support this channel. I much appreciate all of you. Without y'all, there would be no reason for me to do this. So with that being said, family, stay black, stay vigilant, stay alive. Black first, black first, black first. Shalom, y'all.